For this installment of the Bugs and Bottom Lines podcast, we got a special guest today, and we're down in Wilmot, Arkansas, in the southeast part of the state, and things are a little different here than when we were up in northeast Arkansas a day or two ago. But anyway, this is Jim Jaggers, and he's a private consultant down here, and we thought we'd get an update on what's going on in this part of the state and talk about the current crop situation and that kind of thing. How's it going, Jim?
Wet.
Wet.
Been as wet a spring as I've ever dealt with.
And sitting here in the end of May, it's kind of cool out here.
Yeah, cool.
End of May, almost June, it's pretty cold.
Yep. Raining again. We need to get in the field in a bad way, clean up weeds, start PICS applications. Just been on hold.
Yeah. And the field behind us here's got 10-node cotton in it, which is yesterday all through northeast Arkansas. Mostly what we saw was cotyledon stage and maybe one or two leave, but you're at least you're further ahead on some of it than most folks in the state of Arkansas.
Yeah, I mean, on average, we're probably 5 to 6 node cotton. A lot of it should be 8 to 10 node cotton. Just been struggling, wet feet, no sun. A lot of it had trouble coming up. We've had to replant cotton. Just been a slow go so far.
Yeah. Now, do you have some cotton that's in the 1, 2, 3 leaf stage?
Yeah.
You got some?
I mean, I have cotton. We just had probably the last couple of guys finished up planting last week right in front of another rain, and a big rain, so we still don't know if we might have to replant some of it.
Man, it's a mess. It really is. This is one of the wildest springs that, well, I don't remember one in my career. How about you?
No. It's been as big a challenge as we've had.
Yeah. And I guess number one is getting the weeds under control right now, and that kind of thing is what you're spending your time on.
We've been getting windows. I mean, but they've been, 4 day window to get in and try to get stuff a week's to 10 days worth of work done, get a couple of days. We've just been putting out the biggest fires first and doing what we can. It rains again, wait till it dries up, try to start over for the next round.
Yeah. What about disease issues? You seeing any?
Have had some. Most of our cotton is in a rotation, mostly behind corn. Haven't had a lot of pressure there, but I've got some cotton behind cotton acres where we're having phalabiopsis issues like we typically do down here on the sand. And I mean, I've lost some stand, not whole field, but I mean, I've had to go in and spot plant. Had between the disease, beating rains, a little hail, then it did turn off dry and windy for a little stretch, just long enough for the sand to blow, and just wiped out some pockets in some fields. So
I'm just curious.
Everything you can imagine.
What's the planting date on this field right here with 10 nodes?
I don't remember exactly. It was early April.
Early April. That's what I figured. Yeah. The cotton's just, it's not growing off like.
No. I mean, I have a lot of cotton that should be, 10 node by now. That's 5 and 6, and I have some that's 8 or 9 node cotton, and it's literally that tall. I mean, 6-inch tall cotton with 4 square nodes on it.
Wow.
Just stacked on, can't move. It's a messy start.
So on that earlier, did you have much of a thrips issue on
our seed treatment cotton? We did. A lot of guys now running in furrow, and there we're running a lot of vellum and imidacloprid, some acephate as well. Most of that did not have to do anything for thrips on, but the early planted seed treatment cotton, I've had to go across quite a bit of it for thrips. I really did not expect to. Typically, when we have good moisture, we don't have a big issue with them, but they blew up about 2 weeks ago. And as we were going through trying to clean up first round of weeds, we were running running Intrepid, some Bidrin, just trying to clean up.
Yeah.
Clean up
one
some
treatment
trips.
or two you get most?
I haven't had to do anything twice yet.
Good.
It finally trying to get over the hump. Every week, I think it's going to take off and start looking like it's supposed to, but it's just kind of hanging on right now. A lot of it.
Yeah. This has been a crazy spring for sure. So now that we're looking at this cotton here, this has got plenty of squares on it. It's progressing pretty good. Any plant bugs showing up yet?
Yeah, we're starting to pick them up. Last week in the older cotton, we were, really first week we had cotton big enough to start sweeping, and just finding low level stuff so far. Really haven't had a field hit a threshold yet. I have not put out the first plant bug or picks application, but as you can tell, this cotton is ready for the picks.
Well, it's going to start dragging them in.
Yep, no doubt. I mean, we're running 2 to 4 on 100 sweeps this week so far, and what we've been in. Starting to sweep anything with 5 nodes, anything that's squaring. We're putting a net in now, but so far been low level, but I'm sure that's going to change quickly.
Yeah, we saw a lot of corn on the way down here that was tasseling.
Yep.
And certainly know what the association with plant bugs.
Yeah, we'll have about 2 weeks. When those silks start drying down, it gets crazy around here. And we've got probably more corn in this area than we maybe ever have, but there is a lot of corn, a lot of cotton surrounded by corn.
Is your cotton acreage down much?
It is. I'd probably 10 to 15% from last year.
And with less cotton, that just means more corn and more plant bugs to drag to it.
Yep.
So I suspect the pressure will probably get pretty good.
I'm sure it will. Hopefully the rains will subside before that kicks off. We usually can do a pretty good job on them if we can, get the treatments out, not get a shower for a few days. Big difference between barely beating the rain fast time and getting 2 or 3 days of it laying out there on a leaf in the control.
I remember some of the first time me and you started visiting, when you'd call me every now and again. I usually called you more than you called me because I was needing to know what was going on down here in this part of the state.
Yeah, this is usually the hot spot.
This is where it starts here in this part of the state, and then it kind of rolls through the rest of Arkansas up through the northeast delta. So getting a indication from you what you were seeing was what we were going to be seeing in about a week or 2 weeks.
That's right.
That's the way it works.
We're typically ahead of everybody else. Last year was an exception, but I don't know statewide. I know up in the northeast they've been getting hammered and they're behind. But
yeah,
at least we've got some early cotton this year.
But I think some of the first questions you asked me were about rain fastness and on with a lot of the products that we had out at that time. And
yeah, that's when we really have trouble here. I mean, when they start coming out of the corn hard and we're getting rains, it's a severe challenge.
The last thing you want to do is put on a $12 application.
Oh yeah.
And turn around and have to spray it again because it got washed off.
Yep. And like I say, even when it, you get a half a day and knock down what was in the field, and then get a rain, it's pretty much over. And they're constantly boiling out of the corn. You end up getting 5 days between an application instead of 8 or 10.
Exactly.
That's always
the grower
gets expensive quick.
The grower doesn't want to hear from you
or
see you.
Exactly.
It's tough.
Yep.
Kind of give us a rundown on your approach and what products you're going to use, on pre-blooming and then when you get into bloom, kind of how your transition of control for plant bugs.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll usually start out around cotton this size. We'll start picking up plant bugs almost every year at that stage. And I mean, we'll start out running either Vidate or Transform typically on the first shot. Depending if we have any aphid pressure, like some of that seed treatment cotton I mentioned that we had to thrip, where the cotton's this big and we're already picking up. So
you're already seeing aphids. Wow.
We'll kick them off in that every time when we start having not every time, but It's rare when we don't, if we have to spray for thrip. So in those situations, I'll probably just start with Transform. A lot of places where I'm not having to do that and aphids aren't an issue, I'll start out with Vidate as long as the numbers aren't, outrageous, and then transition into Transform from that. Typically, usually run it twice and probably start using some Diamond in combination with it on the second application as we start getting near bloom. I always like to get at least one shot of Diamond out before canopy closure. But
Yes.
my big thing around here is I've got to have them under control and have good retention before that canopy closes, because
Critical.
I mean, once we get to that stage, if they're not under control, you can't clean them up. I mean, you can't get to them. They can feed. You've got food for them literally from the ground. I try to go into canopy closure with good retention and not have big numbers out there, because once we get to that stage, even if we're doing a good job with our picks applications, keeping the plant down from getting rank, we still can't clean up a heavy population, especially adults and nymphs in cotton that size.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's real critical to me to go into that stage of the season.
That's why you want to be clean going into it.
Yes,
you don't want to get behind.
That's right.
Once you get behind, you never catch up.
No. I mean, you turn into lots of money and lots of applications.
Yes. A lot of unhappy growers.
Exactly. And I mean, we just don't have the margin with the prices the way things are right now to be spending any extra money.
Yeah. Commodity prices ain't that good, and the cost of production's up, and
yep.
Last
cost
thing
of
you
everything.
need to do is be spending a bunch of money when you don't need to.
Yep. I mean, applications alone are costing, they're bumping $10 an acre now.
Is that what an aerial application costs?
I mean, it depends on the applicator, but I mean, I don't think they're at $10, but they're closer to 10 than they are 5.
Yeah. Things have changed a lot in our lifetime, haven't they?
No doubt.
So when you're out scouting for plant bugs on cotton like this right here, I mean, you're relying pretty heavy on that sweep net, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, we're sweeping every field as soon as it starts squaring, and we're looking at numbers and retention right now.
Right.
Making all our treatments based on that, and we'll continue that up. I mean, we sweep cotton season long. I know a lot of people will put the nets up and go to a drop cloth. We do both, but I like the sweep net season long. I mean, if the nymphs are bad enough to be an issue, we're going to pick them up in the nets. I'll use a drop cloth at times if I'm low levels and really wanting to fine tune where my nymphs are, but the sweep net is a big tool for me.
It's an important tool.
Yep.
You said you were going with Transform, sometimes early in the season, particularly if you got aphids. What kind of rates are you using on Transform?
I usually start out, I'll start out in that, like on cotton this size even, I usually start out at like 1.75 ounces, run that. When they start getting really high numbers, or I've got a dense canopy, I'll go to 2 ounces at that point.
So you base your rate on how thick the plant bugs are out there, right?
That and the size of the cotton. I mean, where I can get really good coverage, the plant's not that big, I don't feel like I need the full 2 ounce rate to get good control. But like I say, usually by the time I get around to the second trip with the Transform, we've got enough of a plant out there, and I'll be shocked if our numbers aren't crazy by then, because like you say, all this corn's already starting to tassel. We'll be brown silk at that point, and I don't hardly have a cotton field that doesn't have a cornfield beside it this year. So if things hold true to what they've been in the past, it'll be 2 ounces on that second application, and probably have Diamond with it at that point also.
Yeah.
Usually run it 8 to 9 ounces with the Transform.
So when you have to spray late season, do you have something that you use in that situation?
Yeah, I'll usually run Diamond 2 to 3 applications, depending on what the nymphs do late season. We're able to get by, still cross my fingers with a lot of bifin acephate trips late season. I lean on it pretty heavy just because of the cost of everything.
You going 3/4 or a pound?
I'll usually go, in that 1 to 20 to 25 rate of bifin with 3/4 to a pound of acephate.
Yeah.
I won't go less than 3/4 if I'm fighting plant bugs. And then again, I'll let the populations kind of determine what I do on the rate there.
You remember back when we were battling with and trying to keep the label, and we're writing Section 18s.
Oh yeah.
For Transform, and you had some advice for people, that were working on that, and said, don't let us lose that product.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a huge tool for us. I mean, because like I say, when you start looking at the options we have to control plant bugs, they're limited big time. And I mean, in the OPs we can still lean on them, but the control by the end of the year is gonna be zapped. I mean, if we started trying to control plant bugs right now with acephate, by the end of July, we'd be wasting money. And I mean, being able to use something like Transform, especially in that 2-shot window, it pushes that time frame back to where we can still have those OPs in our back pocket for late season, not break the bank, and the control that we get with Transform, it gets us to that window I was talking about earlier, gets us to canopy closure with a good retention, the crop's set up. I mean, it does a lot of things having that retention. I mean, it's protecting yield. It's also helping us keep that plant under control. And you go in with low retention, at first bloom, and good moisture. We've got all the fertilizer out there. Some of these varieties,
right?
Exactly. I mean, now we've got varieties now that are a little bit easier to control than what we have had in the past 10 to 15 years. It's still a big part of keeping the plant at the size that I like. Obviously, I'm still going to use a lot of picks, but there's a big difference between what you have to do if you're going in with 80+% retention versus fields that get hammered for one reason or another, and you're down below that, and you've got all your nitrogen out, and it's a go-getter variety. You've got to lean on it so hard sometimes, and the way this year's been, if that continues with rains, you miss one good picks application and you can't get it under control in time.
No, that's exactly right. So what about Thrive-On? How much Thrive-On do y'all have down here?
I don't have a lot. I've got a few fields this year. The varieties have been a little bit lagging behind yield-wise from what some of the top tiers can do for us. And like I say, even with severe plant bug problems that we have in this area, we've been able to keep them under control enough to still hit those top-end yields. I'm excited about a new variety they've got out now. I've got a little bit of this year. I'm hoping it's going to yield with the best that we have.
So your approach on plant bug control in Thrive-On cotton is a little different from?
Oh, certainly. I mean, early season when they're coming out of the corn, adults, big migrations, I still lean on it pretty hard to keep them under control. I don't see a big difference there. I mean, you might have a little bit less square loss, but in my opinion, it's not been a big difference early season. Where the Thrive-On does, what I've seen for me, where it starts to shine late in the year when typically, when we start hitting note above white flower 6, 5 in that range, we're still trying to protect top positions on the plant, and we invariably are going to have a big nymph blow up around that time. There is a drastic difference in the Thrive-On and the conventional varieties at that time.
That's good.
I mean, I'll usually save at least 1, if not 2 applications late season with the Thrive-On.
Good. All right.